getting close to that clash with Michigan. Can you believe it? We are 14 days out from getting it on once again. It's been a long year, but if you remember, 11 months ago, some had the audacity to laugh at us.
David Pollack's description, I think a fully accurate description of the state of college football right now with our friend Nick Saban sitting right there on the set. Just watch Nick's face as David made this point.
Georgia, obviously, you've seen in the past couple seasons now, really, they've taken hold of college football. They did an unbelievable job. This is a young football team. This isn't an old football team with a bunch of guys losing. Now, listen, the NFL can take its chunk out of any team.
And employers can take a chunk out of any employee's behind as well. They scoffed at old Coach Saban. It's like they wanted to give him a tin cup and put him out on the street, but they don't make those decisions, thank goodness. And it was a long, difficult time. And then what happened? We ran right into Texas. And, I was worried like everybody else, but, you have to rest upon strong leadership. And what the leadership have to say about the Texas game? There was a few key words in there if you just listen.
Good. So I don't think it's any huge secret or anything that we did not execute on a consistent enough basis, in this last game. And, too many turnovers, penalties, mental errors on defense, sacks. Things that are helpful in being consistent. In terms of whether it's sustaining drives, not giving up big plays that, lead to field position and scores. So the focus is 100% on how we get it turned around. The future is now. All right, so how do we get our players to, we got to do a better job as coaches to help them be able to play, better, more consistently in the game, put them in a position where they have the best chance to be successful. But I think all these things are fixable, very fixable. I believe in our players. I think we've got good players. I think, Texas has a good team. And just like I said before, it was a test. It was like, an early test in the semester. We didn't grade out very well on the test. So, what are we going to do to get a better grade?
Unfortunately, I know all too well what it takes to have to get a better grade. Maybe 3 or 4 times to get a better grade. But I know some people were expecting a lot less from Coach Saban. Maybe he was just giving old coach speak. But I've never just seen him just shoot the bull for no reason whatsoever. Usually pretty measured in what he says. But while many wanted to see him in the lazy boy, laid up, doing nothing, and just waiting for all the recruits to come pouring in, what did he do? He got in the lab. He got in the lab and started grinding, getting ready, plotting a strategy to get the better grade for his team. And what was the result? After it was all said and done, after the Texas game, after Ole Miss, who Feinbaum said was going to take us down, that wasn't a game to be taken lightly. Coach Saban says respect your opponents. Always do. We didn't take nobody lightly. No one. Not Texas, not LSU, not Auburn, not Georgia. And what's the final result in all that? Who's number 4? I don't know what they're all fretting about. We're just going to play a good old game of football. Well, we just got to win by 1. We're going to respect Michigan. We're not going to do any kind of cheap tricks or thrills or spying or nothing like that to try to come up on one. But you know what? I don't know what Coach Saban may do. It was recently announced that he decided to do
Nick
this.
Saban and the Alabama football program are strategically bolstering their coaching staff. The latest addition is George Hello, the former linebackers coach for Michigan, as reported by The Athletic on Thursday. Hello's return to Tuscaloosa marks a familiar chapter, having previously served as a defensive intern for Alabama in 2012 under then defensive coordinator Kirby Smart.
Well, what do you know? What did Coach Saban say?
But I think all these things are fixable, very fixable. I believe in our players. I think we've got good players.
I believe we have good players too. The
So
evidence
you're
speaks
right.
for itself. I've always said that Coach Saban knows what he needs better than anybody else to make his team successful. I wonder what's the first question he's going to ask the guy from Michigan. It's not like, what are they going to do if we do this? I think the first question you got to say, like, have you seen the notebooks on our program yet? Or were they just taking notes on Georgia? How much stuff do they have on us? Because I think it's a fair question. This guy's been down in Tuscaloosa before as a graduate assistant. It's not unusual. He's been around a lot of different places. But hey, that's how it goes. Some people choose to hire people to get information on other teams. We just choose sometimes to hire the personnel right off the team. Hey, he can never work for Michigan again, but hey, it's another 130 some odd programs he could eventually work for. What did Coach Saban say?
But I think all these things are fixable, very fixable. I believe in our players. I think we've got good players.
Speaking of players, the 2023 Alabama-Mississippi All-Star Game was played this weekend, where it featured 6 participants who have committed to the University of Alabama. Now, I don't like to get carried away with what the high school kids are going to be doing, because we know nothing is official yet, really, until they show up on campus. But, this weekend was pretty nice. We had a young man, Jeremiah Beeman. He went in the game. He had 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and a sack. That's pretty good when you think about, this is the best versus the best. And you had a young guy, I remember his name from way back, Quentin QB Reese. His father is an Auburn graduate, and he played in the game. He had 8 tackles. There also, you had another legacy from the University of Alabama, Dre Kirkpatrick. Junior was out there at the game, and Junior had a nice day. 6 tackles, 2 interceptions. He had a couple of he does kick returns as well. That's a full day. He forced a fumble and recovered it as well. And moving right along, we had another young man, a highly touted recruit, Jalen. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. I think it's Mabakwe. He had 4 tackles out there on Mabakwe Island. And let's see, we also had a highly touted, I've heard a lot about this kid, Ryan Williams just had a monster of a day. He had 8 receptions for 92 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he also does kick returns. So it seems like the future's looking pretty bright when it comes to refilling the storehouse, which is something I think, Coach Saban's one of the best in the game at doing so. But like I said, nothing's official till they're really at their own campus. But, while we make it through this process, I want to be reminded about what Coach Saban said.
But I think all these things are fixable, very fixable. I believe in our players. I think we've got good players.
So what's going on with the good players that we have right now? Well, they broke camp 2 days ago and got back on the field to get ready for Michigan. There they are. Everybody's loosening up. Coach Saban has the hat on. Oh, yeah, don't look directly in the eyes. Don't want nobody to get trampled. Could be a stampede. Everybody's getting ready. Loosen up, fellas. Loosen up. There he is. Bond. Isaiah Bond. There he is. Jalen is never trying to have a team. As a leader, baby. Black shirt. Yes, sir. There he is. Motivator. Yes, sir. Well, that's all I have for today. I want to do this every day so we can stay in tune and keep you abreast of what's going on with the guys. If something comes up in the news, I'm sure there will be over the next 14 days. But until then, like I said, everybody take care of each other in this holiday season and roll tide.